support the nation. That's a very nice vision. With this vision, he has raised volunteers who truly understand the spirit of volunteerism.
Okay! Good afternoon! Paano wala yung energy after ng raffle? May paraffle din ako! Pero wala. Sayang wala akong paraffle. Pero, since ako yung after ng lunch nyo, pwede ba ako humingi ng tulong? 2 favor. Okay? Yung first favor ko, pag may nakita kayo yung katabi nyo, pag nakita nyo inaantok, raise your hand, ituro nyo, Sir Bel, natutulog po. Okay lang yun. Sige, sabihan nyo ako. Yun yung first request natin. Okay, deal? Okay. Tapos gisingin nyo rin naman. Okay. Okay. Gising na? Okay. Yung pangalawa kong request is 1 oras daw ako magsasalita. Wala naman akong masasabi na 1 oras. So, usap tayo. May tatanong ako, wala akong paraffle, pero sasagot kayo. Okay? Okay? Deal? Sige, simulan na natin to. Yung slides, please. So, yung topic ko is courage to build. Ano yung kaninang umaga? Sino nakaalala na yung yes o Miguel?
The audacity to dream.
Ano ibig sabihin ng audacity? Okay, naalala niya at least, no? Naalala niya the audacity to dream. Pero ang hirap nga ng word na audacity, hindi ko nga ma-spell yung audacity. Pero nakuha ko, nandito din ako kanina nung nagsasalita si Sir Justin. Audacity to dream. Yung walang hiyang mangarap, no? Yung boldness, yung walang takot na mangarap. Yung kahit sabihin sa'yo na hindi pwede yan, or hindi mangyayari yan, basta alam mo sa puso mo, tama yung gusto mong mangyari, ipagpapatuloy mo. Yun yung nakuha ko kanina kay Sir Justin, no? May prize pa ako. Kasi naalala ko. But thank you, Miguel, sa pag-alala nung topic kanina. Bakit kaya ito yung kasunod? Bakit kaya ito yung kasunod? Aldrin, bakit kaya courage to build yung kasunod ng audacity to dream?
Siyempre sa pag-dream mo, kailangan may courage ka para gawin yun.
Okay. Tama. Para sa kabataan, tulad natin, no? Tayong lahat dito. Para sa kabataan, mahirap nang magkaroon ng dream. So even the first step of dreaming and having good ideas, medyo malaking challenge na yun, right? But after magkaroon tayo ng pangarap, after natin magkaroon ng dream, mas malaking challenge yung umpisahan yung pangarap natin. So hopefully, I'll tell you my story and the stories of the people that I work with. And hopefully, it gives you inspiration to start your own dream. Okay? Alright. Next slide, please. Ayan. Wala lang. Kunwari may credibility ako magsalita. But anyway, this is my background. My background is really, I decided to work in the corporate world. So, pagkatapos kong graduate, sabi ko, I need to learn skills. I need to learn skills para ang future vision ko is gusto ko magturo sa mga high school tulad nyo. Actually, that's my ultimate goal as a career. Gusto ko maging teacher, or gusto ko maging coach, or gusto ko maging mentor. Naisip ko, hindi ko magagawa yun pag wala ako ituturo. Right? Or may makikinig pa sa akin kung may ituturo man ako. And I decided, sabi ko, sa corporate, okay naman siguro mag-stay for a few years para matuto. So I worked for P&G, and P&G taught me discipline. Na pag sinabi mo, bukas deadline ng project, bukas deadline ng project. Pag hindi mo na-submit yung proposal mo bukas, manganganib yung promotion mo, manganganib yung increase ng sweldo mo, at siguro, malulugi yung kumpanya ng mga ilang milyon. So may mga project ako dati ng mga millions of dollars. So ganun kalalaki yung responsibility. The good thing is, I have mentors. I have people who taught me. I have people who trusted in me. But the skill building that skill was important, and that's why I wanted to learn that from the corporate world. You can also learn that elsewhere. You can learn that at school right now. You can learn that working with government in SK. But it's important to learn skills. Medyo magaling sa mabilisan na may idea ka, huwag mong hintayin 2 years from now. Gawin mo na ngayon. Kasi bukas, another year, may nakagawa na nung idea mo or hindi na relevant yung idea mo, iba na yung problema. Is training me to think fast and to learn fast, fail fast. Ilagay mo yung ano yung idea mo, gawin mo, and then kung may konting pagkukulang mo yung idea mo, ulitin natin, tapos ibalik natin. Gawin natin siya ulit. Ulitin hanggang ma-perfect. So I learned 2 things, really good lessons from these 2 companies. On the side, as I am doing all of this work, may totoong trabaho ako, 8 to 9, minsan kailangan mag-overtime. I've started iVolunteer together with a few friends and colleagues. One of them is here, Mr. JB Tan, who's also a co-founder of iVolunteer, and I'll tell you more about iVolunteer in a bit. And then we've also started The Good Store. The Good Store is a social enterprise trying to promote local products, giving more income to communities who are producing their own products. So I've started those 2 endeavors in parallel while I'm working. So ang gusto ko lang sabihin is, if you have dreams, ang daling sabihin na, may trabaho ako full-time, ang hirap gawin. I mean, kailangan ko mag-focus at work. Or sino nasa school pa ngayon? Sino nag-aaral pa? Madami. So I bet some of you would think na, estudyante pa lang ako, wala pa akong magagawa, wala naman akong panggastos, di ba? Or ang dami kong assignment sa school. Kahit anong stage of your life, you will always have an excuse. You will always have an excuse not to start. But my challenge with you is, put those challenges aside. If you really want to start something, regardless kung nasa school ka pa, ano man yung nasa work, nag-work ka na, kailangan hindi siya maging hadlang or hindi siya maging alibay na parang, kasi ganyan, kasi ganito. Okay ba? Okay ba so far? Sundan ba? Alright, sige. Intro slide pa lang yun. So, next. Kwentuhan ko muna kayo with iVolunteer. So, iVolunteer started in 2009. Sinong nakakaalala ng Ondoy? Wala na? Bagyong Ondoy. Madami pa naman, no? Sige. Ayun. 2009, nagka-Bagyong Ondoy. Nagtatrabaho na ako noon. Pag nagtatrabaho ka na kasi sa office, wala na masyadong opportunities para mag-volunteer. At school, sino nag-volunteer sa school? Or sa church dito? Ayan. Madaming opportunities sa school, sa church, sa barangay, sa SK. You can do all of those things before joining a company. Pero pag nag-start ka na sa work, desk job, office job, ang hirap na makahanap ng chance mag-volunteer. So nagka-ondoy nga. And then kailangan mag-relief operation. So gusto kong mag-volunteer. Kasi volunteer na ako since high school pa lang. So namimiss ko, gusto kong tumulong. Nung time ng ondoy, ang problema is, sa Manila, ang medyo popular na mga puntahan ng volunteers is ABS-CBN. Ayan, punta tayo ng ABS-CBN or GMA Kapamilya, mag-repack tayo doon, or sa DSWD. Punta tayo doon, mag-repack, tumulong tayo. Puno na sila by then. Puno na sila, sabi nila, wag na pumunta yung mga volunteers, ang dami ng volunteers, thank you. Ayan. But ako, gusto ko pang tumulong. Hindi ko naman pwedeng ipilit yung sarili ko doon, no? Parang kakatok na lang ako, kailangan ko tumulong. Ayan. So napaisip ako, no? Parang, ang daming energy ng Pilipino, gusto nilang tumulong. Minsan, hindi na nila alam saan magtutulong. I mean, gusto ko lang tumulong, saan ako mag-uumpisa. In my case, nung nagka-ondoy nga, gusto kong tumulong, pero ayaw na ng mga big groups, yung mga ABS-CBN nga, yun, puno na sila. But after a while na, the week after, 2 weeks after, may marinig mo sa news may ganitong maliit na relief operation sa Quezon City na nagkulang ng volunteers. Or may maliit na organization sa Manila na nangangailangan ng volunteers. Hindi ko alam yun. Sayang. Pwede ko sana puntahan. So sabi ko, sana may way, sana may paraan for people like me who want to help. And so naisip namin, maglagay lang ng website. IT kasi ako. Sino yung IT kanina nagtaas ng kamay? Walang IT. Ayan. Sana madaming mag-IT or STEM dito, no, pagpasok nyo ng college. Yun, pag pumasok ka ng college, Miguel, sana, STEM. Ayun. So, gusto lang talaga namin maglagay ng website. Nag-put up kami ng website for future volunteers like you guys, na parang gusto mong mag-umpisa, eto na, punta kayo ng website, makakapili na kayo kung saan yung gusto makapag-volunteer. Ang vision ng iVolunteer is every Filipino volunteering towards nation building. So, ang gusto na namin ngayon is lahat ng Pilipino, kahit bata, matanda, retiree, nasa opisina, nasa school, nasa simbahan, pwedeng may itulong. Walang alibay na parang, kasi ganyan, 1 oras na yung pwede kong ilagay, 2 oras lang, or sa weekend lang ako. Meron kang pwedeng maitulong. Yun yung vision namin. Lahat kayo may worksheet, di ba? Kanina pinasulat kayo, di ba, on the worksheet. Pwede mo magtanong kung sino pwedeng mag-share ng vision nila sa worksheet. Nobeline, pwede kong tanungin, ano yung vision na sinulat mo sa iyong worksheet?
Well, actually po, young professional po ako, graduate na ako, but I'm taking my second course in social work and currently working at the community. So, bali naka-anchor din yung parang vision ko as a youth na to build a community that's full of diversified opportunities, to help the poverty, to improve the services and to reduce poverty, and have access to government facilities and other social services that cater all sector of society, which is in inclusivity. Hindi lang siya pang farmers, hindi lang siya pang kabataan, but everyone. Like, yung accessibility sa sasakyan, like yung sa para, mga ganun siya. Pero hopefully, it's government implemented para organizing siya and hand in hand with the LGUs and private sectors.
Yes! Wow! May pa-wifi ba parang joke lang? Pero, ang ganda, no? So, if I can summarize, gusto ni Nobeline na ang government, sana siya yung mag-spearhead ng inclusive city or inclusive services para yung mga taong may kapansanan or mga babae or mapalalaki or anumang grupo ng mga tao may access to services. Tama ba? Okay, ang ganda ng vision. And why is vision important? Ba't importante yung vision? Dito naman, kasi wala akong nakakuha pa dito. Jonisho, bakit importante yung vision, please?
Nagsiset ko kasi ng goal for the future na parang i-take ko.
Okay, may target ka for your future, no? May target ka sa future mo. And don't be, yung isang advice ko siguro, don't be too hung up on that target. Kasi nung nilagay namin yung nag-start kami 2009 sa iVolunteer, there was no vision like this. Sabi namin, gusto na namin ng website. And then pag nandiyan na yung website, gagana na yan ng kanya. Parang bahala na silang mag-post doon ng volunteer opportunities, bahala na yung mga tao mag-sign up doon as volunteers. Gagana na yun ng kanya, parang pwede ko na iiwan yan sa web, bahala na siya. Yun lang yun, walang ka-vision. But as time goes, naglagay kami, hindi pala ganun kadali. May mga tao pa lang, ayaw talagang mag-umpisa mag-volunteer. So napaisip kami, paano namin sila hikayatin? May mga NGOs na ayaw ng volunteer minsan. Can you imagine that may mga NGOs na ayaw nila ng volunteer and very fair yung concern nila. Because sabi nila, pag nandiyan naman sila, bibigyan mo sila ng orientation na 1 oras, tapos hindi na sila babalik kinabukasan. Or kukulitin ka, Sir, Ma'am, bukas tuloy po ba tayo ng pag-volunteer tapos hindi magpapakita kinabukasan? Fair yung concerns nila. So nung binild namin yung website, na-realize namin, ang laki pa pala ng problema. No, ang problema is not just the website. Kailangan mo hikayatin yung mga volunteers, yung mga tao na, uy, mag-volunteer naman kayo para may gumamit ng website. Kailangan namin hikayatin yung mga NGOs, you have to trust the volunteers and the people, and you have to build that trust. Para naman, sayang, no, kung hindi mapa-volunteer yung mga interesadong tao, wala kang future leaders. If you talk to any non-profit or any leader, actually just today, yung mga speakers today, tanongin nyo sila how they started. I bet you 80 to 90% of them started their journey as a volunteer. Sometime in their life, nag-volunteer sila, namulat yung mata nila, na may problema sa lipunan, na may mas magagawa pa ako. And then today, they're already leaders. I'm pretty sure si Sir Justin started his journey as a volunteer. Yung mga organizers nito, a lot of them, I'm pretty sure, are volunteers or started their journey as volunteers. That's the same with me and the people in iVolunteer. Nag-start kami as volunteers and nakita namin yung mas malaking problema. Alright? Sige, next. So these are volunteers. We have 250 non-profit partners and 40 iVolunteers who's running day-to-day operations ng iVolunteer. And the biggest thing that I'm most proud of these 40 iVolunteers, yung 40 iVolunteers na yan, all have day jobs. We are 100% run by volunteers for close to 10 years now. So imagine, wala sa kanila yung nagpatalo sa alibay na, kasi ang stress na sa work, dadagdagan ko pa ba ng iVolunteer? Kasi ang dami ko ng responsibility sa bahay, dadagdagan ko pa ba ng magpapakabibo pa ba ako sa society? Wala sa kanilang ganun. For sure, nasa-stress kami. For sure, napapagod din kami. But the dream is bigger than the stress. Ayun. So sana sa inyo, walang magpapatalo sa mga barriers, sa mga alibis na may isip nyo. After today, after you walk out from today's workshop, I'm pretty sure may isip nyo, okay, one-time workshop, tapos na, I can go back to my schoolwork. Mabibisi na ako sa school. Or mabibisi na ako maghanap ng trabaho ko soon. Sana walang magpapatalo sa kanilang challenges sa buhay to start their dream for the city of San Fernando. Alright, next. Next, please. Okay. Balik tayo sa ideas. Step 0 is the idea. Kaya nga nauna si Sir Justin kanina na audacity to dream. Idea tayo magsisimula. But not to douse. Or hindi ko tinatanggal yung goodness of ideas. Maganda magka-idea. But everybody has an idea. Sinong wala pang idea since this morning na ano pwedeng baguhin sa San Fernando? Wala pa? Wala pang idea? Lalapitan kita. Sige. Bibigyan kita ng idea. Joke lang. Sige, gawa tayo ng exercise. Sino dito really feels in their heart that you guys in this room can do something for the city? Kung yes yung sagot nyo na, yes, I feel like I have something that I can give to the city. Whatever small thing that is. Kunwari, magko-commit ka lang na mag-volunteer ako once a month. That's small, okay lang. To as grand as gusto ko talagang isolve yung garbage problem namin sa city. Or tulad ni Sir Joven ba yun, kanina ng para, ang hirap makakuha ng tricycle, gawin natin mas madali. However small, however big, sinong may idea for the city of San Fernando as of today? Can you stand up, please? Ha? Wala pa din? Or nahiya lang kayo? May paraffle din ako. Tayo, kung sino may idea on what we can do. Si Novery, meron ka na, di ba? Please stand up. Di ba yung deal natin kanina? Participate. Yung second request ko sa inyo, pwedeng tumayo yung may idea na gustong gawin for San Fernando. Yes, thank you. Pwede mo pa-on ng lights? Wala? Oh, sorry. Okay. So, one. Thank you sa lahat. Ayan, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ayan. Hopefully, bago ma-5. Thank you, ma'am and sir. Thank you very much for being courageous enough na yes, meron akong idea to give back to San Fernando or to do something better for San Fernando. Si sir dito na tumayo, tanongin ko na lang. Sir, ano yung gusto nyo baguhin or improve sa sino ba yung tumayo? Yan. Ano gusto nyo improve sa San Fernando?
Actually, as for now, we are actually experiencing some progress, especially in the province of London, which was currently we had Vice Mayor was killed, shot dead at Palawan. Now, as my vision, as the SK Federation President of the city, we would like to feel that all of the youth here are in good hands or we feel safe. And we want that all the youth to be involved because just being informed it is actually a privilege, but being engaged and getting participated it is already an advantage. So as a youth that embodies the city, we would like to feel that we are safe here in the city through encouraging the youth to take their active part as youth volunteers, because as what we said, there is nothing much stronger than the heart of a volunteer.
Wow! Ayan. So yung mga wala pang ideas dyan, pwede naman kayo sumuporta na lang sa idea niya, di ba? Hindi naman tayo pwede, okay lang naman na hindi tayo lahat dito may unique idea to start with. But thank you, sir, for sharing that. So, safety of the youth and engagement of the youth. No? Paano pa-move yung youth so that yung youth themselves will feel safe to share their ideas, to participate in nation building. Very good idea to start. But again, going back, idea is just step 0. Okay, it's important to have an idea kasi we cannot move to the next steps. But it's step 0. What is step 1? Next slide, please. Okay, dito na tayo, right? May idea ka na. How do I start? From my experience and from talking with other NGO partners, NGO founders, social entrepreneurs, leaders in their own fields, this is what I think is the first step. When you really want to bring your idea to life, create partnerships. Find a partner that can help you. Partner or partners that can help you. Sabi nga ni, I forgot the name, but yung Evan Lee kanina, yung namigay ng Google Cardboard, they wouldn't probably be as successful if they did not found each other and help each other out. Right? Si Joven also of Para said that I had a very nice idea and nakita ko sobrang ang hirap makahanap ng tricycle sa San Fernando, and then may idea siya and then nakahanap siya ng katandem niya na magaling mag-program. Right? Why is finding a partner or partners important? One, natural sa tao maging tamad. Ako, aminado akong tamad. Right? Sino aminadong tamad? Yes! Ang nangyayari, pag mag-isa ka lang, so may idea ka at mag-isa ka lang, ang daling sabihin, bukas na lang. Di ba? Yes. Or next month na lang. Right? Ang daling ipabukas. But if you have someone who can share the dream with, you can hold each other accountable. Kunwari, dalawa kayo dito. O, sige kami ni Miguel. Miguel, partner tayo dito. Kunwari lang. So, sabihin ko, Miguel, gusto mo yung idea ko? Pareho tayo na idea, di ba? Tama? Okay. Pareho tayo na idea. Okay, sige, ano muna natin gagawin? Sige, gawa ka ng website, Miguel. Ako, magre-research ako. Tapos, meeting tayo ulit next week. Next week, nakakaya naman balikan si Miguel na si Miguel, ang dami na niyang nagawang code. No? Nakapag-develop na si Miguel ng website. Tapos yung ako, nag-research yung contribution ko. Nag-meeting kami ulit. O Miguel, ano update mo? Pinakitaan ako ni Miguel ng magandang website niyan. Tapos ako, ay sorry Miguel kasi yun, wala pa ako na-research. Mahihiya ka ngayon, di ba? Lahat naman tayo mahihiya, di ba? Di ba? Mahihiya tayo lahat. That motivates you to move. Maghihilaan kayo pataas. So you really need a trusted partner. It could be a mentor at school. So siguro advisor nyo sa thesis. Or yung barangay captain nyo kung SK project siya. Or someone that you really just trust and you can share the project with. You need to have people you can be accountable to. It's important though, when you look for these partners, pareho kayo ng values. Right? Hindi pwedeng, ako, ang gusto kong project is babawasan yung garbage, plastic ng San Fernando. Babawasan natin yung plastic ng San Fernando. Mag-create ako ng awareness campaign. Magbibenta tayo ng mga reusable bags, ganyan. Ganun yung values ko. Gusto ko environment protection. Hindi pwede namang kapartner mo is wala dun. Diba? Wala siyang pakialam sa environment. Dapat, values, pareho. Right? But, the style need not be the same. Hindi nyo kailangan ng katulad nyo. Kunwari ako madaldal, kaya kong magbenta, kaya kong mag-face-to-face sa mga tao. Hindi kailangan na yung katandem ko, yung kapartner ko, magaling din makipag-interaction, magaling din mag-marketing. Ang mas maigi nga, kung mas magaling ka sa marketing at mahina ka sa website at kailangan yun ng website, maghanap ka ng tao makapag-complement ng skills mo. So someone you share value, but complementary skill. The second is find win-win. May kwento ko sa NGO, sabi ko nga kanina, we always work with non-profit and NGOs sa iVolunteer. Ang sinasabi nila sa akin, Bel, ayaw namin ng volunteers. Kasi ang hirap nilang i-train at hindi sila nagpapakita. Wala na, tapos na usapan kung hindi tapos na yung usapan, ayaw na nila, okay, bye-bye. No! Maghahanap ka ng win-win kasi kailangan mo yung tulong nila, kailangan din nila yung tulong namin. Ano ba yung win-win? Dapat may makukuha siya, may makukuha ako sa partnership. So sa akin, gusto ko yung NGO, can you open up your organization and post volunteering opportunities? Gusto ko ikaw mag-alaga ka ng volunteers from me. So ako mangolekta ng volunteers, papadala ko sa'yo, alagaan mo. Yun yung gusto ko, yun yung win for me. Ano yung win kay NGO? As we discuss, na-realize namin na yung kausap ko, founder, siya yung founder ng NGO sabi ko, Sir, paano kayo nag-umpisa? Sabi niya, ayun, naglalakad lang ako minsan sa kalye, nakita ako ng batang nanglilimos, gusto ko siyang tulungan. Tapos yun, nag-volunteer ako, tapos sabi ko, mas kailangan ko pang may gawin. So kaya nag-put up ako ng sarili kong NGO. Ayun, sabi ko, Sir, dumanin po pala kayo ng pagiging volunteer. No, sir, kung wala pong nag-alaga sa inyo nun as a volunteer, tingin niyo po ba magiging NGO founder kayo ngayon? Napaisip siya. So sabi ko, Sir, sa 10 dadaan sa inyo ng volunteer, I'm sure 3 dyan hindi magpapakita siguro. 7 lang yung magpapakita, okay lang? Pero baka isa dyan, magiging future leader ng NGO nyo. So napaisip siya, oo nga no. So meron na siyang gusto makuha from our partnership. So nakuha ko yung gusto ko na pwede namin siya maging NGO partner, aalagaan niya yung volunteer na ipapadala namin sa kanya. At the same time, sa kanya, from his mindset, sige, I will recruit and I will get more volunteers for the hope that I can at least develop 1 or 2 future leaders. May win sa kanya. If we ended our conversation, kung natapos yung conversation namin na sinabi nilang sa akin na, ay, ayoko na ng volunteer, natapos na dun yung conversation, walang win-win. We're both lose. Walang partnership na nangyari. So I hope in your project, in your future idea that you're trying to build, look for that person or persons who can complement you, so yung trusted partners, and then grow it to a team, and then find allies and supporters. So yung allies and supporters, in my story, are the non-profit or the NGOs that we work with. And when you work with your allies and your supporters, always look for win-win. Ano yung win sa'yo, ano yung win sa kanila. Otherwise, it will be a lose-lose relationship. And no one wants to be in a relationship na lose-lose. Right? Okay ba? Okay. Sige, yung second point ko is, courage to take the first step. Actually, nagdadalawang isip ako kung ito ba yung number 1, step 1, or yung partnership yung step 1. And I decided step 1 yung partnership. Kasi sometimes, you cannot even make the first step nga if no one is encouraging you to take that first step. So, ginawa ko itong step 2. So, what does this mean? I just want to share baby steps at first, and then follow it by another step, and then follow it by another step, and another, and another. And by the first month, or by the first year, you will realize ang laki na ng progress na nagawa niyo. So yung project natin, Miguel, ano yung project natin kanina? Okay, may website kang gagawin, ako yung maghahanap ng pagre-research. Tama? Kasi gusto namin i-eliminate ang plastic sa city. Okay, yun yung project namin ni Miguel. So, kunwari yun yung project namin ni Miguel. Ano yung first step? Pwede yung first step is simple research. Right? Magre-research na ako, sino ba yung mga pwedeng tumulong sa amin? So, may programa ba yung City Hall? May programa ba yung isang company dito? Or may programa ba yung barangay? Sino ba yung pwede kong kilalanin? So, research. Simple lang yung first step ko, research. Siya, magaling kasi si Miguel, website agad yung first step niya. Okay, then after ko mag-research, I can take my steps to step 2. Siguro, pag may nahanap akong mga kumpanya or mga organization na also believes in the same dream, I can set a meeting. After ng meeting, mag-agree kayo, o sige, isang small project. The third step becomes a project. And then, successful yung project. Sasabihin ng partner mo, sige, palakin natin next month. Makating ka second project ka na. So just take that first step, and then add another, and then add another. Okay? My story is with iVolunteer. Nakita niyo yung drawing sa kanan? Ginawa lang yan sa PowerPoint 2010. Gumawa kami sa PowerPoint. So nagka-idea kami, gusto namin ng website. Right? Gusto namin ng website. And gusto namin may supporters kami. Hindi, IT kami pero medyo banong IT ako. Hindi ako nakagawa ng website agad. Pero yung fastest that we can make is a mock-up. So pictures lang. Nakipag-meeting ako sa mga organizations, even to DSWD Secretary Dicky Salayman nung time na yun. So yung DSWD Secretary, nakipag-meeting kami with just this. Wala pa akong website. I just showed them. Ito yung idea, ito yung posibleng itsura. Laway lang ang capital. sabi nga nila, laway lang ang kapital. So don't be afraid to do that. Don't be afraid to share, to sell your idea, to prototype. Kasi the more that you share your ideas to, the more na mahihiya ka na wala kang gagawin. So kung na-share ko na kay Miguel, na-share ko na kay... Sir, anong pangalan nyo? James. Adrian. Na-share ko na kay Zeus. Na-share ko na kalahati sa inyo na, oy, gagawa ako ng website. Mas mahihiya ako ngayon na hindi ko to gagawin in the next few months. So, start sharing your ideas. Start selling your ideas. Create prototypes, however basic is your prototype, just to get you started. When you start talking to other people about your ideas, mas nagbi-build yung idea. Sasabihin nila sa'yo, pwede mong pagandahin na ganito. Or pwede mo kausapin si ganito kasi may idea siyang ganyang kapareho sa'yo. So, may magbi-build at may magbi-build sa idea mo. You will not lose anything. You will only gain new supporters and new ideas. Okay? Okay pa ba? Okay. Ano yung step 1 ko kanina? Ano step 1 ko, ma'am?
Find a partner.
Step 1 is find a partner. Step 0 was dream and have an idea. Step 1 is find a partner or supporters. Step 2 is take the first step, sell your ideas, talk to a lot of people, create prototypes. Don't be afraid to fail. Or like, sasabihin ng iba sa'yo, parang pangit yung website. Okay lang. That's still an additional insight. Sasabihin na sa'yo, pangit. Bakit kaya nila sinabing pangit? I will improve it. So even bad criticisms, even criticisms na ibibigay sa inyo, even failures, are good to have during your first few months starting your project or ideas. Okay ba? Alright? Next! Strategize and plan. Sige, medyo mahirap kasi yung concept ng strategy. But when you enter siguro masters ng MBA or sa corporation, they will teach you more about strategy. But there's only one thing that I will probably leave you behind about strategy. What is strategy? Strategy is all about choices. So pag sinabi ko gusto kong makarating doon, yun yung goal ko, I can take many routes. Pwede akong dumaan dito sa stage at dumaan doon. Pwede akong umikot, papunta doon para makapunta doon. Pwede akong dumiretso. Strategy is all about knowing what's the best way for you forward. Meaning to say, pag pinili ko to, ito yung mas logical, diba? I will not go this way. So choices, and choices of not to do. For example, in iVolunteer, when we started, sabi ko nga, share namin sa DSWD and to the secretary of DSWD herself. And she's so interested, sabi niya, okay, never mind money, I can invest here and just build it. But gusto namin yung website nyo is going to be a database of all our existing volunteers. Sabi niya, yung mga existing volunteers ni DSWD, gusto ko ilagay na dyan, gusto ko siya kasi maging database ng mga volunteers ko. Very good proposition, di ba? Parang, walang problema sa funding. In fact, bibigyan niya pa ako ng IT developers. In fact, gagamitin niya to agad. In fact, sisikat siguro kami agad kasi may partnership na with DSWD, right? But, it's not in line with our strategy. Our strategy is to increase more people to volunteers. Gusto namin more Filipinos volunteering. If ang gagawin kong website is just to type in, record lang siya ng mga existing volunteers. Na existing volunteers nito mga to the volunteers sa DSWD. It's not my strategy. Hindi niya mararating yung gusto kong more Filipinos starting to volunteer. So sabi namin, thank you, it's a very generous offer. Maybe in the future we can do that with you. But for now, our strategy is to have the public start to volunteer. So yan, I hope when you start your first step, second step, fourth step, be clear on your strategy, and your strategy will dictate what you will choose and what you will not choose. So, siguro, kunwari si Sir Joven kanina, ang hirap makakuha ng tricycle, di ba? Pwede naman siya pumunta sa City Hall. Pwede siya magreklamo sa City Hall. Uy, City Hall, magpasa naman kayo ng ordinansa na bawal gawin ng mga tricycle yung mamimili ng pasahero. Pwede yun. That's one strategy. Another strategy is what he did. Gawa tayo ng app where magbe-benefit yung tricycle drivers if magpa-participate ako. If hindi ko to papahirapan yung pasahero ko. That's a different strategy. At the start, you could have chosen either. So depende kung ano yung gusto nyo strategy and what's the fastest way and the best way and the most sustainable way for you to get to your goal. Okay ba? Okay? Buhay pa ba kayo? Okay. Ituro nyo lang ha pag may natutulog na. Meron na! Pakigising! Okay, pakigising! Pero mga tinutulog nyo. Ako nga, may natutulog na. Good morning! Ay! Tapik-tapik! Ayan, pakigising-gising konti. Okay. Kalahati na. Two more to go and the last two are short ones. So then my next tip for you is courage to tackle bigger and bigger problems. So, yun, in our case, iVolunteer, sabi namin, it's a problem of not having a website. But again, as we go along, you have to educate your volunteers. Kailangan alam ni volunteer, pag pumunta ako dito, bawal makipag-selfie sa mga bata at i-post sa Facebook. Alam niyo ba na hindi dapat nakikipag-picture sa mga bata na tinututoran niyo sa mga area, tapos hindi kayo nagpaalam sa kanila, tapos ipopost niyo sa Facebook? Ayun, di ba? Dapat magkaroon kayo ng consent and child protection policy na hindi maabuso yung mga bata na tinutulungan nyo or the communities that you have. So we need to educate them. Sabi namin, hindi lang pala ito website, kailangan din ng volunteer education. Tapos, na-realize na namin, hindi lang pala ito website, kailangan din namin i-develop and i-train yung mga NGOs. So, nag-start kami ng website, but 2 years ago, umabot kami sa isang volunteer expo. It's the biggest volunteering expo, as far as we know, in the Philippines. It was held in Glorieta. 20,000 people visited for 2 weeks, 2 days, weekend. 25 non-profits participated and 20,000 participated during that event. So, nag-start lang siya sa website, umabot kami sa isang volunteer expo. So don't be afraid to tackle the bigger problem. Start small, but don't be afraid to tackle bigger and bigger and bigger problems. So kunwari kanina sa example natin, kung plastic yung problem natin sa city, no? Bawasan lang natin yung plastic. Maybe we can start with the restaurants first. So magkumpanya tayo sa mga restaurant, uy, sir, ma'am, sana palitan na natin yung mga plastic equipments natin dito, ay mga plastic utensils natin ng something else. Start small. And then we grow big and grow big and grow big. Magkakaroon na siguro kayo ng recycling facility. Right? So don't be afraid to tackle the bigger problem if you're ready to take the bigger problem. Okay? And then last is the courage to be irrelevant. Medyo weird, no? Na parang we're talking here about starting a project, starting your own dream. But even at today, when you start that dream and when you start executing it, you have to be able to imagine a world where you are not needed. iVolunteer hopes that there will be a time when we are no longer needed. In fact, kung iisipin mo lang, how do we measure our success? Paano ba nasasabi ni iVolunteer na successful kami? By the number of volunteers in our website. 40,000, 100,000, 1 million volunteers. Uy, mas sikat si iVolunteer. But we're actually more happy to listen to stories ng mga volunteers telling us na, oh, ako nag-volunteer, nagsasign up ko, ginagamit ko yung website niyo before. But ngayon, since kilala ko na yung NGOs and gustong-gusto ko yung ginagawa nila, dumidiretso na ako. Tapos, leader na ako dun sa NGO ngayon. So I actually don't need your website anymore. What a lovely story, and that's what we want. If you can imagine yourself being irrelevant, then you're in the right path. Also, as leaders, may nag-share kanina, I think si Sir Justin. He said that ang daming founders or leaders na mga society leaders na nalulunod sa kasikatan. So parang nagawa ko tong project na to, sobrang successful siya. And nagiging sikat yung individual. But then, nangyari, ganun na lang. Nagiging sikat yung individual and not the cause, not the dream. Right? So sa iVolunteer, we're actually trying to develop the next set of leaders. And for me and for my leader partners and colleagues, our biggest success is if we have the next set of leaders make us irrelevant. So sasabihin nila sa amin, Kuya Bel, thank you sa pag-lead sa iVolunteer. Pero kaya na po namin i-lead to on your behalf. Pwede na po kayo, hindi na po kayo kailangan sa org. That is our dream. So, huwag kayo masyadong ma-in-love sa project nyo. I know when you start developing your project, it will be the biggest and the grandest thing that you've ever created. And magiging attached kayo with it. But at a certain point, if it becomes very big, malaki na yung organization, malaki na yung project nyo, it has to have a life of its own. It has to be something shared by everyone. Hindi na siya pet project ni Miguel, pet project ni Bel, pet project ni Jen. Right? Hindi kailangan nakatali sa pangalan nyo yung project nyo forever. In fact, you're going to be a hindrance for the growth of your project if forever nakatali siya sa pangalan niyo. So I hope when you get there, when you become successful in whatever endeavor this is, you will have the humility in the future to say, I need to be irrelevant soon. I need to start building the next set of leaders. I need others to lead the organization for themselves. Okay, those are my 4 tips. The first one is start partnering. Second is take the first step and then the next and the next. And then the third, strategize and plan. And then fourth, courage to be irrelevant. So I hope you learned something today and thank you for staying awake. If you need anything, if you want any mentoring, if you're thinking of starting your own non-profit or any group, happy to help you. My name is Bel Padlan. You can search me sa Facebook and you can just tell me, ay, isa po ako dun sa nag-workshop sa YouthCon. May problema po ako about how to start this. Happy to respond to you and happy to share more. So thank you very much and good luck!